Let's take a look at this question. Construct a 2 by 2 matrix A equals Aij whose elements are given by this or this. There are three possibilities, three parts of this question. So let's solve each of them one by one. But first, what do you mean by a 2 by 2 matrix and this symbol? Let's take a look at this. A is a 2 by 2 matrix. Aij 2 by 2. So this matrix would have 2 rows and 2 columns. This matrix would have 2 rows and 2 columns. In total 4 elements. And what are the elements? The first element, first row, first column. This element would be represented by A11. This is first row, first column. First row, second column, the element would be A12. Second row, first column, the element would be A21. And the second row, second column, the element would be 22. Basically, these are different values of I and j, which give us these elements, right? And now we'll solve each part. Let's take a look at the first part. For first part, it is given that Aij equals I plus j whole square complete divided by 2, right? This is what we have. Since this is known that Aij is equal to this, can we find A11, A12, A21, A22 very easily? Yes, let's do that. A11 is equal to 1 plus 1 whole square by 2. Okay, we'll find all 4 over here. This is equal to 2 square over 2, which is actually 2. So the value of A11 that I am getting is 2. What about A21? Let's find A21 over here, right? A21 is 2 plus 1 whole square by 2. What is that? This 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 square is actually 9 divided by 2. Already there. What happens in this case, this element? This is A21. So let's try to find A21 over here. Okay, we have found A12 over there. Sorry, A21 over there. We were supposed to find A12 over there. Okay, never mind. Let's change that, or okay, let's change that. Let's not worry too much for avoiding mistakes. This is A12. This is A12. I'll solve A12 over here, which is 1 plus 2 whole square by 2, which is again 9 by 2. And A21 is 2 plus 1 whole square by 2. That is I plus j whole square, which is again 3 square, that is 9 by 2, as you can observe. The last element, as you may observe, is A22, which will be equal to 2 plus 2 whole square whole divided by 2. What is that? 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 square is 16 upon 2, which is equal to 8. 16 over 2, which is equal to 8. And yes, those are the elements. Now, do I get my matrix A very easily? Yes. Therefore, matrix A, which is a 2 by 2 matrix, for this particular part would be equal to what? This is the first element over here. A11 is 2. A12 is 9 by 2. A21, as you may observe, is 9 by 2. And A22 is 8. This is my answer for part 1. As you may observe, this is my answer for part 1. Clearly. What next? Let's move ahead and solve part 2 after this. Okay. Let's take a look at part 2 after this. What do we have in part 2? Part 2 says Aij equals I upon j. Okay. So, once again, I need A11. Okay. I need A12. I need A21. And I need A22. Let's try to find them. A11 is I upon j, that is 1 upon 1, which is simply 1. Okay. Aij is I upon j. A12 would be actually 1 upon 2. That's all. A21 would be 2 over 1, I upon j, which is actually 2. A22 would be 2 over 2, which is simply 1. This is what you get. And therefore, the matrix A that we obtain in this part would have elements. A11 is equal to 1, A12 is equal to 1 by 2, A21 is 2, A22 is 1. This is the matrix A for part 2, as you can observe over here. Take a look at this complete, right? And then let's talk about part 3 after this. Let's talk about part 3 after this. What does part 3 have in here? Let's take a look at this. Aij is equal to I plus 2j whole square whole divided by 2. That's what we have, right? So let's try to find A11, A12, A21 and A22 over here. Okay, these are the 4 elements that are required, right? What about A11? A11 would be equal to 1 plus 2 times 1, right? Ij. 1 plus 2 whole square divided by 2. What is that? This is 3 square, which is actually 9 and divided by 2. That's what we have. What about A12? A12 is equal to 1 plus 2 times 2, right? I is equal to 1, j is equal to 2. This becomes 2 plus 1 plus 2 times 2 whole square divided by 2. This is what we have, right? In the bracket, what does that simplify to? That simplifies to 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 square is 25 divided by 2. This is what I get, right? What happens in case of A21? Let's take a look at this. A21 would be 2 plus 2 times 1 whole square divided by 2. What is this equal to? Let's take a look at this. This is 2 plus 2, which is 4. 4 square is 16 by 2 is simply 8. 16 by 2 is simply 8. This is what you get. Okay. What happens in case of 2, 2? The value of I is also 2. The value of j is also 2. This becomes 2 plus 2 times 2 whole square divided by 2. What is this equal to? This is 2 times 2, 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 square is 36. This is 36 over 2, which is equal to 18. These are the elements. Once we obtain these elements, then forming the matrix is very simple. Therefore, A matrix is equal to what? A11, which is 9 by 2. A12, which is 25 by 2. A21, which is 8. A22, which is 18. Those are the elements that I have. That's the complete matrix that I obtained over here. This is part 3 for me, right? And yes, that's the complete solution of this question. Let me get aside and you can take a look at this.